All right, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Glenn Stein Realty Executives here, and I've got something really interesting to talk about. This actually happened this week, and also a few things that happened over the last couple of weeks in the real estate market. So we're going to talk about definitely one thing. If you're buying, by the way, you're buying in Florida, it doesn't matter if you're buying in the Villages, Marion County, Ocala, Sumter County, Lake County, it really doesn't matter. You've got to pay attention to what I'm going to tell you because it may sound a little bit of it might be counterintuitive, but it's something that you're really going to want to pay attention to and not do. And I've seen it happen so many times over the years. I understand why it happens, but we're going to address a real big reason why you don't want to do it. Want to give you the 7-day numbers. So very similar things that are happening right now in real estate. So we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about the numbers first. You know, the numbers basically, we're looking at 33 new listings over the last 7 days, 50 pendings, which is actually a little bit larger than what we saw a couple of weeks ago. And essentially right now we're looking at right at about 112 properties available in the Villages on the MLS side. You know, that fluctuates pretty much from minute to minute as new properties come on the market, then people put things under contract. I would expect that might increase a little bit the next 12 hours because a lot of people will put their properties on the market on Friday. And then, of course, will increase on Monday, but we'll see some properties go under contract over the weekend. So it kind of goes back and forth. One thing that we are seeing, I want to clarify some things. You know, when I did my video a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about how there are some big changes in the Villages market, there was a real big change. And the change was we went from, having about 80 something properties on the market 1 week, and then 2 weeks later we had over 100, now 112, 113. That's a pretty significant jump. It doesn't mean that things are crashing. In fact, depending on the property, what we're seeing right now is properties that are in, just like always, properties that are in mint condition that look great, and you've got well located properties. In other words, maybe it has a view, maybe it's private, whether it's golf course or waterfront, whatever. Those properties obviously sell. There's lots of competition for that. And if you talk to my people, we've got buyers. We got a lot of buyers right now. We've got a lot of buyers, and we got thousands of buyers in our Buy Sell the Villages platform, of course, in the back end. And we have definitely always a handful of buyers for that type of property, the nice looking property, the property that is an end user type of buyer, not somebody that's looking for a steal, but they're looking for a fair value. They're looking for something that's going to be nice, maybe move in ready, and also something that is it's got a view, something like that. Those are premium properties, and I think there's still a little bit of ceiling on those. In other words, you could push the envelope if you're a seller and get more money for those types of properties because they're rare, right? Like rarity determines everything in price. So that's a determination. So anything like that is always a good thing. So definitely more ceiling to that. Also, the everyday property, and what I mean by everyday property that maybe doesn't have a view, but it's, maybe it's a gardenia or Amarillo or patio villa, courtyard villa, and it's just a standard home, looks good, but doesn't have anything other than than that. There's nothing super special about it, and it's a middle of the street with no view, and it's just standard. Those I think are, we've appreciated tremendously over the last 12 to 18 months, but I think we seem to have hit some kind of ceiling on pricing there for now. If it looks good, it sells fast. I think days on market, which I'll likely do in the next week or two, I'll take a look at what the days on market was for March, because I think it went up a little bit. They're taking slightly longer as opposed to selling in a day. It might be taking 7 to 10 days. And I'm seeing some other properties stay on longer. Some of the ranch style homes, maybe like an Austin model, yes, they're selling, but if they need work, they're staying on the market a little bit longer. And then I'm seeing some properties that look absolutely fabulous. Then you were getting multiple offers and escalation clauses. So a little bit of a mixed message in the marketplace right now. And I'm telling you all the news I'm getting from all of our agents, wonderful agents here at Realty Executives in the Villages. So that gives you a real update as to what we're seeing at the moment. Okay, so inventory didn't climb any more than it did last week. So that's a good news, I think. Depends on who you are. Some people might think you want more inventory. Some people are like, no. this is great as a seller. So it depends on what side you're on. But that gives you a real interesting vantage point on what's happening in the market. If you have questions, many of you text me anyway, so that's good. 352-572-3796. And you could also leave, a lot of people leave messages here. Just put it in the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. That'd be great. But let me tell you the one thing. There is one real important thing that I've noticed over the years. And I've seen buyers do this. They will look at a property. They may shop around, and maybe that's their favorite property, right? They've seen 3 different homes. They find their favorite. They tell the realtor, you know what, we're not ready to go, but if something happens on that property, if there's interest, if there's an offer, please let me know. And that's a message sometimes the buyer gives to the agent, the realtor, and the buyer's agent realtor typically will tell that to the listing agent or the agent that's representing the seller. And I think that's a big mistake. And you may think, well, why not? You know, I'm not sure about it, but if there's interest, then we're going to jump into. Well, the problem is, we saw this recently, where there was a situation where someone wanted to make an offer. It was a low offer. It didn't work out. And they said, well, you know, if something happens, let me know. And something happens. Well, guess what? Something does happen, and now you're in competition. So as a buyer, and that's the beauty of seeing something that's on the market, and that's the reason why homes, usually the first offer is the best offer. When a buyer puts in an offer and there's no competition, it's just you and the seller and just coming to an agreement on price, you're not going to be pushed to pay more because there's no competition. And I'm not saying you're going to get a steal. You may not even get a deal, but you're not going to pay more than if you did have competition, right? So no competition, it's in your favor as a buyer. So once you see something you like, make a move on it. If there's no competition, better. I think it's better for you as a buyer. Now, in this particular case, all of a sudden, what became a potential offer, maybe slightly off asking price, now, because there was competition, became a competition that went over asking price. And that basically there was probably about $20,000 to $25,000 more that was paid for the home. So obviously sellers love competition. Buyers don't love competition. Sometimes I've seen it before where buyers will say, well, I don't want to compete. I think that's a mistake too. Like, nobody's trying to purposely drive the price up unless there's multiple people that are interested. And obviously that's everybody in human nature. You're trying to maximize your equity here. So that's a natural thing. So the big thing, the one big takeaway as a buyer, just for clarification, is if you see something you like, don't wait for competition. Don't say, well, if something happens, let me know. Make an offer or not. Like, if it's not the right move, don't make the offer. But if it is the right move, make a strong offer, make a compelling offer, buy the home before there's competition. So as always, Buy Sell the Village is our website. So if you want to look around for anything that's available, that's it. Questions, you know where to find me, and leave your comments here. I want to know if you've ever been in, here's the question of the week. Have you ever been in a multiple offer situation, either from the seller side or the buyer side? And what was the outcome? Okay. Hope everybody does well. Happy Friday, and we will talk soon. And somebody did, actually, April Fools. I should have done some kind of joke on you guys today. April Fools, April 1st. I know somebody had made a comment that they'd like to know when this particular video was done, so they can understand and they can get a perspective as to what's going on in the market. So hope everybody has a great weekend.